passed away on August 31st, 2012. He is survived by his wife of 56 years, Julia, his children Aurelio, Lorna, Leslie, Noel, David Jr., Helen, Hilda, Lillian, and Dahlia. And also survived by 14 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. And I pondered that, I realized that his genealogy sounds a lot like one of the patriarchs in the Old Testament. He was the 4th child of 7 children, and he is also survived by 2 sisters, Minnie, who is here this evening, and Marfe, who is in the Philippines, and also his younger brother, Adorine. David Villanueva was born in Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, in the Philippines, to Antonio and Severina Villanueva. When he was a child, he went to Nari Primary School. He attended Cotabato City Elementary School, Notre Dame Marvel High School, and to college at Ateneo de Cagayan, where he obtained his Bachelor of Arts degree. During his high school years, he excelled in his studies. He was a Sunday school teacher to young people from the 5th grade to high school. He won awards in essay writing while he was in high school. And later on, he taught college. He taught college courses in English and mathematics at Xavier University in Cagayan de Oro City in the Philippines. He enjoyed reading, and he would spend many afternoons and evenings reading books, and especially reading the Bible. Even in his later years, he could be found reading in a corner of the house, especially his Bible, and even falling asleep with the Bible in his lap or on his chest. He met his future wife, Lilia, through a plan he devised with his friend. Lilia's parents had a mobile movie theater business just after the war, and David was working for the San Miguel Corporation at that time and living in a boarding house very close to where her parents showed the movies. And so she worked in the family business and sold tickets to those movies. And this is where David first saw her and noticed her, and if I could say, smitten by her. And so with the help of his friend, they found out that she had an aunt. She had an aunt and relatives who owned a bake shop business. And so one day, David ordered a cake after he got to know her aunt, who owned that bake shop. And David made arrangements with the aunt to have a snack with Lydia at the bake shop. She was only 19 years old at the time, and so their courtship began. One story that's recalled from their courtship is the time her father had gone to a picnic, I believe, with his company on an island. And they were all supposed to bring some food, but he had forgotten the bowl of food at home. So he went back home to get that bowl of food. And at the very same time that he went back home, David was there visiting Lilia. And because Lilia's father was strict, she sent him to hide in the outhouse. Well, fortunately, her father never found out, or he didn't find out at all, and he left right away. And so their courtship continued. They married on May 22nd, 1955. They were married for 56 years. After college, he worked for the San Miguel Corporation in various parts of the Philippines in the sales department, and he worked there from 1953 to 1982, when he retired. During those times, he would work long, long hours, starting early in the morning and continuing and coming home late at night, so that he could provide provide for his family. He worked very hard and was very industrious. Later in life, the opportunity arose for him to immigrate to the U.S. And so he jumped at that chance to come to America. And he gathered all his papers and all the documents that he needed, and he did everything that was asked and was required of him. And so, in 1993, he immigrated to the U.S. with his wife, Lilia, and daughter, Dahlia. And he was so excited to come and to start this new life in the U.S. He lived in San Jose, he lived in New York City, and he lived here in Los Angeles. David Villanueva had a great faith in God, a great and wonderful faith, and was very faithful in doing the best he could to be a faithful disciple of Jesus. In fact, for many, his faith stood out. It stood out, and his love for God stood out. He taught his children about the Bible. He taught them about God as best he could. He tried to deepen and ingrain faith in them. Deepen and ingrain faith in his wife, in his children, and his family. And so earlier today, the passage was read, was one that was actually one that he dwelt on in the last days of his life. And that one, and he had a long discussion with Lilia, with my aunt. It was the passage that he discussed, and it was so important to him for him to remember and to be mindful and to help others remember, to invite God into their lives, and to have their eyes open, and to receive the salvation that only God can offer through Jesus Christ. And so that was really a priority with him. God has opened our eyes through Jesus and given us salvation through him. In the last days of his life, he dwelt on that richly. He was a family man. He loved going to the beach. He loved and enjoyed packing a lunch or a picnic and taking his family, and would love to spend long days at the beach. And I believe it was one of his favorite things to do. He was a mild-mannered man. He was a gentle man, soft-spoken, and very patient. One story that was recalled was that his grandchildren said that, he never got angry or raised his voice at them when they did something wrong. And instead, what he would do would sit them down and read the Bible, and have them read the Bible and memorize verses. He was also a very sociable person, a very social man. He enjoyed visiting with others, and he enjoyed sharing stories. And even in the later years of life, he took advantage of technology, and he friended me on Facebook. That's how social he was. So, of course, I accepted it. Well, as we remember him today, we remember that he was a wonderful man, a good man, a faithful man of God. He led a powerful example of love, a powerful example of faithfulness in the Lord, and an example of quiet and gentle strength. He was dedicated to his family. He was dedicated to his friends. He was dedicated to reaching out to others. And I'm sure we all miss him today. But he leaves us with wonderful memories, wonderful